Hello, true believers. It's Corey coming at you on a different kind of blog post today on this very rainy Wednesday. October 30th, tomorrow's Halloween. My kids are excited. This is not a blog post about anything Bib Rave related. I'm not talking about a review of any type or anything like that. So, just to let you know. This is really a sort of a mental health check-in, and I'm on my way now to train a client, so I won't be looking at the cameras. I'm concentrating on driving. I just don't want everybody to think I'm being like artistic and not looking at phones in a holder, and I'm driving. So this, I would say, like the past 90 days, month and a half. No, I would say month and a half, not 90 days. Sorry, it's 45 days. It's been rough on me from a mental health standpoint, and I feel like all I'm able to do, and all that I'm trying to do, is to stay afloat. Is to just keep my head above water to a certain extent, so I don't completely drown. That being said, I definitely think tomorrow I have a couple of doctor's appointments sort of back to back. I have my therapist, because I meet with him once a month. It's the one my psychiatrist is the one I meet once a month because my therapist recommended him, and he's the one that prescribes my medication, so we do a checkup. And I can say now it's been 2 months of the Buspar that I take 3 times a day for anxiety, a month of the Wellbutrin that I have been taking for late afternoon. I've been getting really fatigued, and when I'm that fatigued, I don't have the mental defenses to deal with my anxiety, so it feels exponentially worse, and I have trouble focusing. And the Wellbutrin has just made me fatigued, have trouble focusing, and irritable, which is not a good look for you, boy. And I also think the Buspar that I'm taking 3 times a day isn't really working for my anxiety at all. And that's fine. I mean, I think the frustrating part is with any, if you're sick and you have pneumonia and you go to the doctor and they write your prescription and it's something that may not work, and if not, they try something else. If you've had surgery, king of those, you get a medication to treat the pain and it may not work, or it may need to be adjusted along the way. It just seems exponentially harder when it's mental health, because I had spinal surgery, December of last year. Pain comes and goes, or there's things I physically can do that will cause more pain or less pain. Excuse me, I can put an ice pack on. I have a TENS unit for electric stimulation. When it's mental health, there's no ice pack, there's no stretches, there's no KT tape, and it's a constant with every fraction of a thought is being invaded. So the same patients needed to figure out medication becomes a little bit of a different animal to wrestle. And so that's where we are now, and I'm just trying to stay brave, but it's frustrating. And I think some of the frustration also is never getting Corey time. That just never, it doesn't, circumstances dictate that doesn't really happen. And because I can look at a calendar and think, I'm going to have these 15-20 minutes here, and that ends up turning around to where now it's not even, the time is obliterated, gone, because of my childhood abuse and neglect from my parents and my family. I am built to put everything and everyone else ahead of any enjoyment I can possibly have, because I'll just feel guilty or feel worthless if I try to take some me time if there's something else that needs to be done. And when I say something else, I don't even necessarily mean important things. I mean, I can get a text message and the anxiety over I really need to answer that text message, even though it is not about anything important, it's not time sensitive, it's probably socially related, but I will have anxiety and guilt that I didn't answer it. And so that messes with me. Sleep has become something else. I use an app that checks my sleep through my Apple Watch. And every morning it'll ask me, well, how did you wake up? And then it gives me a detailed breakdown of my night's sleep. And actually below, I will include last night's snapshot. It was something like 4 hours. I got like not a passing grade if I was in school. And I really, after seeing this morning's readout from last night, I have decided that's it. I'm taking a hard stance in making sure I get enough sleep. And I'm my own worst enemy. Please understand, I'm not blaming anyone for my sleep problems. The problem is this. Once everyone goes to bed in the house, once I'm not getting message or text, that time of the night is just golden to me. And it's the only time I sort of get to do mindless stuff and just sort of be Corey with no one's expectations hanging on my neck like an albatross. So I sacrifice the time I should be sleeping to enjoy those hours of just quiet, of just being able to maybe catch a show that I have on the DVR because I'm 6 episodes deep, or read something, or problem solve something, and I just have made a hard line promise that sleep is no longer going to lack for me. That's going to become a priority. And dealing with anxiety this time of year, whether it's external stress or internal stress, is just on top of my fall anxiety of things. My birthday is October 17th. I upgraded to 47 this year, and I'm happy for that. Tamari and the kids did an awesome job of making me feel special. But on my 22nd birthday is when my dad died. And of my 2 differently abusive parents, he was the less of a devil than my mom. So there's that. And with our anniversary and 3 of our 4 kids' birthdays in all the same couple of months, I start to feel very much like the kids deserve a better father, and I find myself feeling horribly guilty that I'm the father they got dealt with, the hand they got dealt, and I find myself feeling horrible that I'm what God chose to be. I'm who God chose to be their dad, because they deserve better. Anniversaries, late September, and it's the same thing. I have a huge amount of, Tamari should be with someone better. So this goes on during the fall. This goes on back to back, things happening, and I run, I would say honestly, from late July until Christmas, because the way circumstances are and everything are, I run on empty. I mean fumes. I don't mean the gas light came on. I mean the gas light, if we're going to make that analogy, the gas light came on in May, and July's when, there's July comes around and now it's just fumes. Every year, just mentally, that's how it is, and it's hard. It's draining. It's difficult. It's the overall feeling of my wife deserves a husband who's not broken. My kids deserve a father for them to be proud of. I feel like I am a burden to them, my wife and my kids. But I'm the only me I have. Another reason for lack of sleep that I tend to sacrifice sleep to stay up and do things is my dreams. My dreams are just a physical manifestation of my anxiety and depression that's created its own world and created its own reality. It's the best way to describe it. So that's where I am. And I also find myself, because I have friends that mention it, not in a negative way because they don't know what's going on, but just in their comments, is this is the time of year that I'm also very withdrawn from my close circle of friends. I don't have a large circle of friends. I have a large circle of acquaintances, but I don't have a large circle of friends. I don't trust that many. I'm not built that way to trust that many people. It's just how I am. But they notice that I'm much more withdrawn because I don't. How do you explain any of this to someone else and not get pity or have someone trying to solve things for me, or someone with their Hallmark card, dime store advice, and I get tired of, well, just think happy thoughts. Or my other favorite is, well, just think of how blessed you are. And having anxiety and depression is not spitting in the face of what you're grateful for. And I get tired of people saying things like that to me and others going through it. That's hurtful when you say that. And my other favorite, which this has become a thing lately, is someone will ask me what's wrong, and I think it's a safe place to talk to them, and they want to make it about them. And that's why I think I did a social media post the other day, I'd be lying to know what day it was, that I talked about the medication issue. And I put on there, I'm not listing the medications because I don't want to hear everyone's personal stories. It's not about them. I don't want to hear everyone saying, oh, that doesn't work for you. Sorry, going under a bridge. Oh, that doesn't work for you. Oh, it works for me. Or try this. Like, I wasn't posting that because I wanted advice. And I've said this to my therapist, and just had this conversation with a dear friend of mine, Virginia. Sometimes, here's my advice, I guess, or opinion. It's not advice. If your loved one is someone that's going through a tough time, just realize from 95% of the world around them, they're probably hearing selfish, inept words of wisdom. Can't do two air quotes because I'm driving. All we want is for someone to sit in the suck with us. Just hear us. Just listen. Don't try to solve us, because now we came to you and opened ourselves up, and now you've made us a scenario that needs to be solved. So now we not only feel less than than the less than feeling we already felt. Now we feel like we're being objectified, and now we're just a situation to solve. So, or don't turn it around and tell the story of when you went through on a smaller level. And anyone that's ever been in crutches or in a boot, because I've told this story for years, I almost hated going out because I would be in crutches and have a boot on or have a full leg knee brace on, and inevitably strangers would be like, oh my God, I know what you're going through. Because I remember this paper cut I got in '88, and I'm like, so you just wanted to talk about yourself, and you've wasted my time. Thank you. So, I'm wrapping this up. I just want to say to my small circle of friends, if I have seemed distant, you now know why. That doesn't mean I'm going to be less distant in the next couple of months. There's still so much anxiety and stress I'll be dealing with. I have a month and a half, December 17th to be precise, is when I go for my 1-year spinal surgery follow-up to hopefully get the all clear to start running again. And I've already told myself, even when I get the clear to start running again, because it's been a year, because the muscles and the nerve endings have been raw, waiting for the bone to grow complete, it's beyond just starting over. And I have to give myself grace, which I'm not good at under the best conditions, much less this. I haven't made commitments for summer or fall races because of this, because I don't know how I will do in the spring races I'm thinking about doing, and hopefully my first triathlon. So thank you for listening. If you listen this far, I hope you have an incredibly blessed day, and everyone just be better to each other. All right, guys, stay blessed. One love.